What made Hearst Castle so special back then? You drove down a dirt road, which was Highway 1, and out in the middle of nowhere, when you looked up the hill, you saw this big castle sitting on top of the hill. And people would get invited here, and it wasn't just movie stars, it was all kinds of visitors here. And it would be a really special event to be invited here. Today, as visitors buy a ticket to come up on the hill on a bus, and you go on a tour. But imagine being a guest here. You got to stay overnight here. You got to go play tennis. You got to sit by the pool all day long and do whatever you wanted to do. And then to top it off, you got to have dinner with William Randolph Hearst. I think that's what makes it special back then. Today, I think being able to share in that history and taking visitors all through the house and talking about his art collection, what it was like to be a guest here. How did we dress back then? What did we do? Don't you think it would be fun? Okay. This was one of 7 large vacation homes that William Randolph Hearst owned. It was the only one he built from the ground up, and he built it for his Spanish and Italian art collection. His mom died in 1919, and he was 56 years old. 3 weeks after her death, he had the architect Julia Morgan up here and asked her to build him a little something up here. This is his idea of a little something.
Okay, now we would come to this part where you'd come to the beach. This is where they went fishing. They went for shellfish. They were after other fish to dry. Sometimes they would throw that serpent that we saw a minute ago. They would put that in a stream to stun fish, because steelhead came up these streams here. So it was a very busy place. But on the other hand, though, they could also walk along and gather vegetable kinds of things like lettuces and all kinds of things that they could pick up to put in a salad. Might even do even behind you is a thing called greasewood, which was used as a cure for poison oak. You could make a tea out of it and put it on it to take the itch away. All kinds of interesting things happen with these natural plants. Okay, this is the store that was brought by skids from out in the point after the whaling station ended. So about in the early 1900s is when the store was moved down here, and then it was a general store for until about 25 or so years ago. And then it became kind of like a gift shop, and now it's a combination of excellent deli and a wine tasting room. So, but from Hearst Wine. So it's been a long journey for this special place. So now up until a couple of years ago, this place was owned by the Sebastian family and had been for 50 years, 80 years. And so it was really kind of special. Now it now is owned by the Hearst family. So they were able to purchase it because the kids really didn't want to do anything with it, and so they finally have sold it. So now the Sebastians, they had this in perpetuity, though, this whole corner where this and the house is. But then, but just recently, though, it has all gone now too. It's all Hearst Corporation. It was a working schoolhouse for over 100 years, but it's now been dormant though since about 1955. But up until that time, it had been a one-room schoolhouse, but from anywhere from 5 to 12 students at a time per year, depending on who was here. These were all employees of Mr. Hearst that went to the school. He was very, very liberal with what he gave us in money. He wanted the school to have everything that they possibly needed, and it maybe even didn't need. But it was a great place to be, and it's a great place to go to school. We also did a lot of little field trips around town and out on the pier and watched them bring the fish in, and all kinds of fun stuff.